to Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and coming up on the program today, I'm going to be breaking down 3 NFL free agents that could add to this Texans roster and help improve this unit heading into the 2025 NFL season. If you're new to the program, I ask you of 3 quick steps. 1, hit that sub button for the latest Texans news and rumors all year long. A lot of y'all who've already watched the show, maybe y'all need to do step number 2. Please go and hit that noti bell, because if the Texans do sign somebody, I'm going to try to go live or break it down in an immediate video, and I want you to be the first person notified. And that's step 3. If you want to be an absolute legend here on the channel, go to your settings and select the all option on that noti bell. So whenever we drop anything, you will be notified. All right, let's get into our 3 top free agent targets for the Houston Texans. The first one, Nick Chubb, former running back from the Cleveland Browns. And, you know, this is a guy where I actually wasn't really thinking about him too much until he was linked to the Texans in an NFL.com article, which I'll tell you what they had to say around Chubb in just a moment. But obviously, this is somebody who only a couple of years ago was viewed as a top 5 back in the NFL, and injuries kind of devastated his past 2 seasons. You know, he only played 2 games in 2023 and then was able to come back for the back half of the 2024 NFL season. But this is what NFL.com had to say on his fit with the Texans. The Texans are a possibility only because they aren't that strong at running back after Joe Mixon. As backup, Dameon Pierce has disappointed since rushing for 939 yards as a rookie 3 years ago. The Texans want to run the ball more consistently with new offensive coordinator Nick Caley, and it couldn't hurt to have another proven veteran back on the roster. And then, see, that's the thing. He is proven, but from 2022, right? In 2022, he had over 1,500 yards, 13 total touchdowns, 5.1 yards per carry, but the past 2 years, he's played 10 games combined. And we all know, if you've been a Texans fan for a while, the drop-off for running backs when they hit that wall is steep, right? Arian Foster was a top 3 back in the league for multiple years. Injuries derailed him a little bit, and then those next couple of years, he was somewhat non-existent in the NFL, right? And that's my worry with Nick Chubb, because what he could be is amazing, fantastic. You could have the best running back duo in the entire NFL. But could this be a sort of an Ed Reed situation with the Texans, where we're looking at somebody's past and how good they have been in the past and not looking at how good they are right now? Because the Texans running back room, I still do believe in Woody Marks. I think he is being slept on a ton, especially by NFL.com. They didn't even mention him in the article. And then Dameon Pierce. I would at least like to see how Marks and Pierce look at OTAs, going into training camp, looking in the preseason. But I'm not opposed to bringing in Chubb for reinforcements if these guys don't meet your standards, if they don't look good in practice, and if Chubb's willing to come on, the cheap, which please don't clip that. That was a horrible sentence that I just said. If Nick Chubb's able to come to the Houston Texans on a cheap contract, I would absolutely love that for this Texans running back room. Stop laughing, Colin. Stop laughing. Let me know down in the comment section, what's your confidence level in the Texans running back room behind Joe Mixon? Scale it 1 to 10. 1, you don't have a lot of confidence. 10, you are over the moon. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, perfect timing. Scroll on down and let me know your honest thoughts on your confidence level in this Texans running back room. All right, next up, let's go to maybe the most talked about position group for this Texans team in the offseason, and that's the offensive line. And I'm going to go with Brandon Scherff, the veteran, and I think this is still a very viable option depending on how things kind of roll out for this Texans offensive line during OTAs and during minicamp and, preseason and everything like that. He's a proven guy. He's a proven veteran. He's been there. He's done that. He's a plug-and-play guy at the guard position. And that's the Texans' biggest weakness on their team as of right now. As of the time I'm filming this video after the draft, I would still say the interior offensive line is the biggest question mark on this team right now. You added a ton of guys, but I would argue that nobody on this roster right now is as good as Brandon Scherff. This past year, PFF, decent grade, 64.7 overall, 74.5 pass blocking, 57.3 run blocking, 0 sacks allowed, only 2 penalties playing last year. And as I look at this Texans offensive line depth chart, which I've said it before, I'll say it again, is nowhere near complete. I don't even know if any of these 5 guys are lock starters at those positions, but you're telling me we're really comfortable with Juice Scruggs and Titus Howard as the guard spots, Jarrett Patterson at center. My confidence is meh at best with all of these guys along the offensive line. Even Ursery, who is, a rookie coming into minicamp and training camp and OTAs, will he start at right tackle, or could they want to groom him to be the left tackle of the future and let him sit behind Cam Robinson? And I'll say it again, all offseason long, when it comes to this Texans starting offensive line, nobody's job is safe. I could see anybody that you just saw in that graphic playing for the Houston Texans and playing snaps for this team in 2025. Because there's no solidified guys. There's no all-stars. There's no Pro Bowlers. There's nobody on this Texans offensive line that gives me a ton of hope moving forward for this franchise, for this team. And until proven otherwise, until I see it on the field and see how these guys play, I'll continue to suggest guys like Brandon Scherff to help, come in and immediately improve this Texans offensive line. I have one more guy that I could see the Texans adding in free agency. Before I do that, though, if you need a new lid, it's summertime. The sun's out. I know it's been a rainy week, but we're on to sunnier and hotter days here in Texas. And if you need a new Texans hat, I got you covered. Just go to chatsports.com/Texans hats. That link will be in the comment section and description of today's video. It sends you straight to our friends over at Fanatics, that website, with all of their different hats. As my producer Cullen, he's scrolling through all these hats. All these hats are available on the website right now. You can get the draft hats with the pins, or you can get one of the other styles that you just saw. One more time, it's chatsports.com/Texans hats. Go there and get your Texans hat for the summertime. It's about to get really sunny. You're going to need one. And why not get a Texans lid going into the 2025 NFL season? All right, last guy on my list, and it's a guy who was on the team last year. Neville Hewitt, linebacker, special teams ace for this team. And I know what you're saying, Jeremy. I think the Texans kind of added a lot of special teams help already. They added a lot of guys, and, why would they re-sign Neville Hewitt if they haven't done so already? This is kind of the same thing that I've heard around guys like Foley Fatukasi, who the Texans recently just re-signed. And I think Neville Hewitt is kind of waiting out his time, right? He's a little bit older, on the wrong side of 30, but I think he's still waiting out his time to see if any linebackers get injured, if there's anything with any teams where he gets a chance to start. But if there's anything with the Texans, if there's any injuries, if there's anybody that's not performing well, or they absolutely need another body in the linebacking room, I could definitely see them calling Neville Hewitt. Now, as it stands right now, I think not likely that they sign anybody on the defensive side. I would say the Texans defense is legit, but you never know. Like, there's always injuries in the offseason. There's always things that happen, trades, whatever. And if they need to add a linebacker, if anything happens, I mark my words on this one. They will re-sign Neville Hewitt. He loves Houston, this coaching staff. They love him as well. I think the only thing that stopped them from re-signing him is Neville wanted a chance to maybe start at linebacker for an NFL team. If that doesn't happen, you can maybe see a reunion back in Houston at some point this season. Like I said, there's an injury. If something happens, I could easily see the Texans calling up Hewitt and saying, hey, you want to run it back here in the H, and him obliging to that phone call. That's all I have for you on today's show, folks. But, hey, look at you. Who would have thought? We made it to the end of the video, right? You're a real one, and I have one question for you, and this will kind of weed out everybody who just watched the first couple minutes to the absolute legends who watch all the way through all my videos. I want to know. Let me know when you first started watching this channel. Let me know when you first found this channel and when you first hit that sub button. I want to know down in the comment section. I truly do appreciate all the real ones on this show who usually watch all the videos, watch them all the way through. It really does mean the world to me, so I really do appreciate y'all. Go down in the comment section. Let me know when you first started watching so I can see who the real ones are on this channel.